Medusa, the monster with snakes for hair, a gaze that turns men to stone, a name whispered in fear and carved into legend. But what if you heard her story, not from the mouths of warriors, but from someone who saw the truth in her eyes? They say Medusa is a monster, but I have always questioned stories told by frightened men with swords. I set out not to slay, but to see. Montage. Lyra traveling through forests, ruins, and silent villages. Statues frozen mid-scream haunt the path, but she presses on. Before she was feared, Medusa was beautiful, a mortal priestess in Athena's temple, pure, devoted, until Poseidon saw her, crashing waves in the temple. A tear rolls down Medusa's cheek. She was not loved, she was taken, and the gods, in their cruelty, did not punish the violator, but the victim. Athena's statue glares coldly. Medusa's hair writhes for the first time. Her punishment? A curse, her beauty twisted, her gaze weaponized, exiled, to silence. Lyra reaches the entrance of a dark cave. Bones lie around. Inside, shadows move. Lyra. They told me she'd kill me at first glance, but what I saw was grief. Medusa emerges slowly from the shadows. Her eyes glow, but do not attack. Her snakes hiss, not with rage, but with warning. She didn't speak, but her eyes begged to be seen. Lyra stays. She draws. She listens. Days pass. They begin to understand each other. Lyra studies ancient glyphs on the walls. They tell a hidden story of Athena's shame, of divine injustice, and of a power meant to isolate, not protect. The curse was not just transformation. It was erasure. Medusa was meant to disappear. Lyra. She told me not with words, but with pain, that her gaze didn't kill the innocent, only those who sought to harm her. Flashback to men who entered her cave with weapons. Their faces twist in fury, then freeze in stone. She did not curse. She defended. Dark skies. Lyra senses something is coming. The wind shifts. A sword gleams in the distance. Perseus arrives. He came for glory and brought no questions. Lyra tries to warn him. Perseus ignores her. Using Athena's mirror shield, he strikes. Lyra, crying. She didn't scream. She didn't fight. She looked at me, as if asking, will they ever know the truth? Lyra buries the headless body. She leaves an offering, a mirror, not a sword. The gods fear stories told from new eyes. They fear compassion more than weapons. Back at her village, Lyra writes the true story. She carves Medusa's face soft, calm into stone, not as a monster, but as a guardian. I met a woman, not a beast, and though they turned her into a myth, I remember her as truth. What if the monsters in our stories were never truly monsters at all? What if they were victims of fear, of pride, of silence, of gods who chose punishment over protection? Medusa was not a creature of cruelty. She was a reflection of injustice, of divine betrayal, of the human cost of forgotten voices. She was turned into a symbol of terror because her pain was too real, too raw, too inconvenient for the legends written by victors. But here, in this story, we choose to remember her differently, not as a beast, but as a soul scarred by fate, abandoned by the divine, and finally, seen by a single, empathetic heart. Let us look again at those we call monsters, and ask ourselves, did they deserve fear, or did they simply deserve to be heard? Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more stories that look behind the myth and into the truth hidden beneath.